Just remember that scene in the original Spider-Man movie where Aunt May is praying, and then the Green Goblin like blows the heart, and she's like in the middle of like saying the Lord's Prayer, and then he's like, "Finish it, finish the prayer," and then she's like, "Deliver us." And he's like, "Finish it from evil," and he's like, "Ah, ah, 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 ah." Welcome everyone to the Moderately Interesting Podcast, episode 5. I'm your host, Aaron.
And I am Mitch.
Great episode. What can I say? We're going to be talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Episode 5.
Episode 5. What a crazy episode that was. The new Shang-Chi trailer just got dropped.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be talking about the Spider-Man Far From Home rumors that just kind of got announced. We're going to be going over some questions from last week. We talked about which Marvel character you want to see make their debut in the MCU. And we got a couple of other questions. So all of that and more on this episode of the Moderately Interesting Podcast.
The Moderately Interesting Podcast.
Play that theme song.
All right, well, I think we should start with that last week's question just to get it out of the way.
Let's get it out of the way right now. Sure.
Because I'm anxious to talk about it.
Okay, yeah. I've thought about this actually throughout the whole week of which characters I want to see in the MCU make their debut.
Yeah, I had a list of about 10, and then I had to narrow it down to 1.
How about do top 3?
I'll do a top 3, but
Top 3, okay.
I want to make sure the one that I chose is emphasized.
Okay.
So,
just
do you want me to go first? Do you want to go first?
Yeah, you go for it.
I'll go first. Okay.
You go first. I asked you the question.
Right. My number 1 is Wolverine.
Okay, yeah, that was a good one. That was obviously clearly that was on my list too, and like obviously we needed Wolverine in the MCU. It's gonna happen at some point, but like sooner than later.
Right.
Okay, side question because it wasn't really what I asked for, but who would you cast for Wolverine?
Well, I've heard rumors of Taron Egerton. I actually think he'd be good. I heard a rumor of him being Wolverine. In fact, I just typed his name in and it says top stories. See Taron Egerton succeed Hugh Jackman as Wolverine for the MCU. So that might be a reality.
That's an interesting casting choice, but not what I would have gone with, but that's cool.
Yeah, I don't think I would choose him if I hadn't heard the rumors that he would be taking up the mantle.
Sure.
If I were choosing myself, Tom Hardy.
I would do in my fan casting nobody asked for Wolverine. I would do Scott Eastwood.
Scott Eastwood.
Yeah.
Is that Clint Eastwood's son?
Clint Eastwood's son, yes, sir.
That makes sense. Clint Eastwood would make a good Wolverine if he was 40 years younger.
50 years younger. Yeah.
He's 110, right?
At least.
And still going strong.
He's still kicking it. Get off my lawn.
Maybe they'll cast Clint Eastwood as Wolverine.
They just start with old man Wolverine right off, and they're like, "We did Logan. Now here's the real old man Logan."
I would also be cool if Hugh Jackman was down. If he's just like, I got 10 more years in me as Wolverine.
I would like to have a couple more $1 million. Sure.
I'm a big fan of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, so seeing somebody else become Wolverine will be a sad day.
It's going to be hard, yeah. Okay, that was your number 1. Who do you have for number 2 real quick?
I'll pass it on to you.
Okay.
Yeah, you go ahead and give me your whatever number you want to give me.
Yeah, so my number 3, I guess, is like clearly we're going to see, like I think all these characters we're going to see at some point, but in the going off of Wolverine, I really want to see Professor Xavier.
Mm-hmm.
The bald man himself.
That's good. That's a really good one. He's the leader of the X-Men.
Yeah. He's the X in the X-Men. You can't have the X-Men without him.
Right. And who would you cast as him?
So I've thought about this before.
Mm-hmm.
I've put some thought into it. I mean, obviously Patrick Stewart was great.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be really hard to replace him. Um, and I'm blanking on the guy's name now, but the guy who played the young Professor Xavier,
James McAvoy.
James McAvoy, thank you. He did
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. I love him. He's really good. But I would go with Bryan Cranston as
Oh my
Professor
gosh,
X.
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
It's kind of a different take than Patrick Stewart.
Oh yeah, it'd be a different take entirely because he'd be a little younger than. At least I think he would be younger than Patrick Stewart when he first took up the mantle. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know that for a fact actually, but um,
maybe, I don't know.
yeah, maybe not. But
That was actually like 20 years ago.
yeah, exactly. I was just thinking, like, wait a minute, like first X movie.
Cranston's starting to get up there.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, he looks a lot younger, like
He
than he
does,
is.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Bryan Cranston, I think as Professor X, I think that would be terrific. I just can very much see it. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, and
Yeah.
just, I would love whoever like Magneto is, and you just get Bryan Cranston like tread lightly. Like, yeah,
Yeah, that'd be great.
yeah, that would be great. I mean, like because I really thought back when before Batman
Say
v
say my name.
say my name, Professor X. You're goddamn right. uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, before Batman v Superman came out, and like there were like rumors that Lex Luthor was going to be in it, and I really thought that, and like the rumors were that Bryan Cranston was going to be Lex Luthor,
Oh my god.
and I was like, that is perfect, that is amazing casting, like oh my gosh, this movie is going to be so good, and then like we got Jesse Eisenberg instead, and
Ugh, Jesse
that
Eisenberg is the
was
worst.
such a downgrade. Yeah. Okay.
The only movie I've seen that I've been like, Jesse Eisenberg isn't bad in this is the Zombieland.
Oh, I was gonna say Social Network.
I haven't seen Social Network
The only reason, in my opinion, why it works is because, like, the adapted
because he's as shady as Zuckerberg.
yeah, the adapted alleged Mark Zuckerberg is a dick in that movie, and Jesse Eisenberg is just a dick. So,
So it works out.
yeah, so it worked out really well. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. All right, number 2, Mitch. Who's your number 2 pick?
So my number 2 is going to be, I want to go with the Juggernaut.
Okay, solid pick.
Because I loved him in all of the X-Men movies that he was in, which I think was 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I already have the cast. I already have the casting down perfect, and you wouldn't even have to do any CGI.
Okay.
The Mountain from Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I like that.
I think he's from Iceland.
Something
So
like that, yeah.
he's already got that, like, just that foreign
His name's like
edginess
or something like
Yeah, like he just fits it. He is the Juggernaut.
Yeah, I'm good with that. That's a good one.
Yeah, I don't need to go too deep into that. He would just be fun. He would add that kind of Hulkish element. That the Hulk has kind of lost that in the MCU. He's now Smart Hulk, and we need someone that's just kind of like, got his blinders on and just wants to break things.
Just Juggernaut versus the Hulk would be fantastic.
Oh, that'd be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I would be totally down for that.
All right, what's your next one?
Number 2 is going to be I think we're going to get this character, but I don't think we're going to get the character exactly how I want, or like how I would dream it to be, but I would want Iron Lad.
Okay.
So kind of a deep cut right here. Ireland is actually King the Conqueror.
Okay.
King the Conqueror. I'm not sure if you're familiar with King the Conqueror.
Kind of, because his name has been coming up.
Yes, he is a Thanos level bad guy.
Right.
And his whole thing is like time travel, time kind of a thing like that. And so like he's like gone back in time and taken over the world, killed the Avengers and stuff like that. And like,
right.
But Iron Lad, I can't remember what continuity Iron Lad is from. But basically Iron Lad is like part of like the new Avengers kind of a thing, and he's like the Iron Man of
Hmm.
like this like younger team of Avengers. Um, and then like it's kind of like a big reveal that we find out that Iron Lad is King the Conqueror. And so like this like kid, he's like 13, 14 years old, is going to grow up and just kill everyone.
It's kind of like Anakin in episode
Yeah,
1, right?
a little bit, yeah.
You kind of know what he's going to do, but he's also like this innocent kid at the time.
Yeah, so I would love if they're 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 kind of teasing the Young Avengers in the MCU. We've got the Hawkeye show coming out, and Hawkeye's daughter is going to be playing a big role in that.
Hmm.
Um, we've got Scott's daughter for Ant-Man.
Right.
She like grew up so they can put her in the Young Avengers.
Hmm.
They're doing a couple other stuff too. I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but yeah, like they're doing the Young Avengers, and I know they're doing like they're doing like a weird, not like a weird, but they're doing like a Iron Man kind of spin-off character,
Hmm.
like Ironheart, I think is what they're gonna do. So like that's like I know they're not gonna do Iron Lad, but I think it would be really cool if they put like Iron Lad in there, so we get like the Young Avengers movie or like TV show, and then like later on when the movies start going, and like we find out King the Conqueror is the bad guy, and then we find out that like the Iron Lad that we've been like kind of watching grow up, who's part of the Young Avengers, that's his like future self. Like I
Hmm.
think that'd be really cool.
That would be really cool. I think that if they gave the next like Thanos like, because they're doing that again, right? They're doing some kind of a
Yeah,
overarching
I think they're building up to a big bad guy again.
and possibly King the Conqueror, right? That's what
I,
I've heard.
that's the
Or
rumors that
Galactus, maybe Galactus. Is
Galactus is
that
another one that's kind of like they have a couple that they're choosing from, and it seems like Galactus and King the Conqueror are the two big ones that.
okay? But it'd be cool to get more than just like an end credit scene of Thanos.
Right, like they teased it a
Like,
little more.
yeah, you get to know Thanos a lot more in Infinity Wars,
Infinity
and
War,
and
yeah.
it's kind of his movie. And then Endgame is Endgame.
Endgame is the Avengers movie, baby.
Yeah, Endgame is all about the Avengers, and yeah. But it'd be nice to get like maybe a movie or yeah. I think what you're explaining there would be really good to have like the younger version of him.
Yeah, I think these shows are gonna be so cool to like set up characters, a lot,
Hmm.
like a lot more than just a 2 hour movie can.
Yeah,
Um,
I've really grown to like both Falcon and the Winter Soldier a lot more than I did
yeah,
before,
yeah,
and Vision and Wanda and all these
yeah. I
people.
think WandaVision was really great at taking these two sideline characters, supporting characters, because
Uh-huh.
they're both characters who never got their own movie,
Hmm.
and they were able to lead a show that was probably the most talked about thing for when it was, you know,
Right.
re-released.
Yeah, it still is. Yeah,
Yeah,
arguably
yeah. So
that
I
one
think,
and
yeah, I
what
think
they've got going on.
I think it's great that they're doing that.
Hmm.
All right,
All right, I'll do my last one, and then you can do your last one, and
sure. We'll move on from there.
then we'll get into
We'll get on to the
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. All right, so my last one or my top three.
yeah.
This is gonna be a good one, by the
Okay,
way.
I love it.
Ghost Rider,
Oh, that is a good one.
Johnny
That is
Blaze,
that is
and
a
I know he
very
has
good
made an
one.
appearance in Agents of
Agents of
Shield,
Shield,
right?
which isn't canon anymore. Kind of.
It's not,
All
but
all,
kind of
all
not.
those. I believe. I don't think it's been explicitly stated, but pretty much all of these shows that aren't the Disney Plus shows are
Hmm.
not canon.
Okay, cool.
So yeah.
That makes me happy because I would cast it with the one and only Nicolas Cage.
Oh, perfect. I was gonna say
Because
if it's not
you
Nicolas Cage, I'm not interested.
yeah, because you can't go back and watch those old Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider movies and not just love them.
Yeah,
So that's who I would cast, and I want to see Ghost Rider. I
yeah.
think Ghost Rider is cool.
My number one pick. Uh, I thought about this pretty hard, and I mean, like it's hard because I have other characters that I would love to see.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to go with Green Goblin.
Oh yes.
But yeah, I would love. I mean, William Dafoe was the Green Goblin. I think it's gonna be really hard to replace him.
Yeah.
But if they did replace him, I think they should get. There's so many good so many of the good actors are like already in Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm. So many of
So
the dynamic ones that
yeah, it's kind of hard to.
can really pull that off.
Okay, okay, left field, never gonna happen.
Danny DeVito.
Oh no, that would be good though. I mean, he was the Penguin, so why not? Mark Hamill,
Yeah, I can see that.
because he was the Joker for the Batman cartoon, so he can go crazy.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah, that'd be really good.
yeah, that's yeah. I mean, just like the way William Dafoe was just like, oh, we could just keep fighting again and again and again and again until we're both dead. Like,
I've heard Willem Dafoe. I've seen. I don't know if they're just like fan art or something, but of him playing the Joker too. I think those two are kind of interchangeable characters.
I think so. Yeah,
The Green Goblin is kind of like the Joker.
yeah, very much
in
so.
a way.
In a way,
as
yeah.
far as their like personalities and
They're both just super crazy and
lack of empathy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just remember that scene in the original Spider-Man movie where Aunt May's praying, and then the Green Goblin like blows
up.
the heart, and she's like in the middle of like saying the Lord's Prayer, and then he's like, finish it, finish the prayer, and then she's like, deliver us. And he's like, finish it from evil, and he's like, ah.
It's got the laugh down, all that.
Yeah, he was great. He was great.
Oh yeah.
All right, yeah.
I would love to see him as the Joker. So
I think that'd be a good one too.
When that conversation comes up, I'll bring him up again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's talk Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Let's do another just top 3 for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because a lot of character stuff happened, but not a whole lot of like action or anything like that happened in this episode.
No, very
tame.
Yeah.
Tame.
Very tame. You had the action scene at the beginning, and then it was all just kind of chill.
That one. There was the big fight between Bucky, Sam, and John Walker.
Yeah, we start right where we left off in episode 4.
Yeah.
And yeah, do you want to start us off?
Sure. I mean, like we already talked about it, so I'll just go number 3. That fight was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very much reminiscent of them like trying to get the shield off of him, of like Tony and Peter trying to get the gauntlet off of Thanos.
Right. Yeah.
I think that was intentional. But yeah, that was a very cool, fun fight to see. John Walker clearly is going a little crazy because he's like, I am Captain America.
Right. It also kind of reminded me of Civil War when Captain America and Bucky are tag teaming Iron Man. The fight itself kind of reminded me of that.
Definitely, yeah.
But yeah,
I think they kind of. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it was like a combo of the two, at least the two, maybe more.
I think they kind of did a thing too, where like Bucky got the shield again, like kind of like in that scene where like Steve throws it and it bounces off of Iron Man, and then Bucky catches it, like.
Right.
Yeah.
To kind of give him, the credit where he's in the comics, he also becomes Captain America at some point as well. So it kind of gives him that moment with the shield, even if he's not going to do it for a long term. He's not going to be Cap. Yeah. But it kind of gives him his moment. One thing that I thought was interesting in that fight as well, or before the fight, John Walker is running back from having just destroyed this super soldier in the town square, live in front of everybody. He runs
live
back
from New York.
Live from New York. Saturday.
It's Captain America murdering guys.
But anyways, he runs back to like this warehouse, and before Bucky and Falcon get in there, he's kind of having this moment. He's having like flashbacks of of Lamar telling him we don't need to go in this building, which is where he met his fateful demise. But you have just like it's like regrets running through his mind. Like
Hmm.
he's kind of feeling the guilt of what just happened, and then like he's flipping a switch almost. He just like
Okay,
puts
I'm
it
back.
all like
Yeah,
compartmentalizes everything and just
yeah,
forgets it all. And then when Falcon and Winter Soldier come in, he's kind of like acting. It was creepy to me how he was acting because it was like serial killer esque.
right.
He just kind of pushed off everything he just did, and he was like, "Hey, where's Carly at? What's our next mission?"
Yeah,
Basically,
what's the next step? Kind of,
and
yeah.
they're like, "We're gonna need that shield
And they're
back."
like, no, man, we gotta take you in right now.
Yeah, you just did something really bad, and
Like, yeah, we're not gonna be able to walk away from that one.
right. But that was kind of my takeaway of the fight is it just showed his craziness because then he, like you just said, he became basically like bloodthirsty. He tried to kill
Yeah,
Falcon just like he killed the guy in the square, and
yeah, he
yeah,
totally
just
did. He totally did try to kill Sam, and then yeah, that was crazy.
Bucky saved him. Yeah,
Bucky saved him. Yeah,
but that when I mean, they had to break his arm to get that shield off.
yeah, they did.
That was insane.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say my three was that Bucky is a killer mechanic, and by that I'm talking about when he goes to help Sam fix up the family boat. I thought that was
yeah,
really cool. You got to see a different side of Bucky that we haven't ever really seen, other than maybe in the very first Captain America movie where he's just normal Bucky.
right. Yeah,
It kind of to me brought him back to just the 1940s, just working on a ship, kind of a vibe.
yeah. I like that. I like seeing what they do in their downtime. I thought that was really
Yeah,
cool. I
he
also thought
was
it was
kind of getting it on with Sam's sister a little
yeah. I
bit.
was gonna say I thought it was funny that he was kind of hitting off with Sarah a little
Yeah,
too well to Sam's liking.
right. All right, what's your number two?
Number two is probably the big secret cameo that we finally got to see.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Julia Louis-Dreyfus coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she's playing a character that I am not super familiar with. I'll say that I've definitely, uh, I think I've like heard about her before. Um, when I read Thunderbolts.
Right, which is
Um,
like the Marvel version of Suicide Squad, right?
yeah, exactly. So it looks like she is trying to put together the Thunderbolts,
Mm-hmm.
recruiting John Walker.
Yeah, I think I wonder if that'll pay off in the end of this, in the finale, or if that's going to be kind of a
Yeah, that might be teased. My only question is like, okay, we get John Walker. Who else in the MCU that we've seen already could be in the Thunderbolts?
Zemo. I'd,
Zemo.
I'd
Okay,
throw
yeah,
Zemo in there. Yeah,
Zemo.
and if we get a bunch of Spider-Man villains, I think Spider-Man's villains are some of the best.
Yeah, I think that was like my thought. Like, oh, do we get Vulture, kind of like the like evil Falcon kind of a thing going on? But like they're clearly using him for Sinister Six.
Right. I was going to say there's kind of a
Like
villain team up there too,
he's
right?
kind of already taken. He's already on a team.
Yeah.
Um,
I could see like Venom fitting into a team like that if we could ever get Venom into the MCU.
yeah, I don't know. I still am not sure how that works with Venom, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, I guess until Spider-Man actually shows up, I will not count it part of the MCU.
But yeah, that was a really cool cameo. I did a little research and this might be a spoiler, so turn your spoiler ears on if you don't want to hear this,
Yeah,
but I've heard
but stick
her
around for that,
called Madam Hydra.
Madam Hydra. Yeah,
Yeah. And I've heard that she I actually did a little bit of a deep dive on this but she worked for Shield and then compromised Shield and then
yeah,
has kind of two-timed a whole bunch of people.
She used to date Nick Fury, so
Nick Fury.
I wonder if that'll get brought up.
I hope so.
I think that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm trying to think of like who else could be in the Thunderbolts at this point, because they've pretty much killed every villain. Like,
Yeah.
not a lot of villains survive the MCU.
And maybe that'll be a part of the next phase.
Yeah.
Is maybe instead of killing off the villains, they'll start putting them in the rift.
The raft.
The raft. Yeah.
That was what they used in Civil War, where they put Bucky and, or not
Right.
Bucky, but Sam. And
A bunch of them.
yeah.
Anyone that was teaming up with Captain America went to
Yes,
the raft, right?
Yeah.
All right. So my number 2.
Your number 2
is there's a lot of things in this episode that I want to talk about.
Yeah, talk about it. Let's talk about it.
So I'm trying to narrow it down to 2 more. I'm going to say I want to go to the end credit scene, but I'll do that later. I'm going to go with Falcon's new suit.
Okay.
And I know that we didn't actually see it.
No, they just teased that. They left us hanging pretty
right
dry right there with that.
And the questions that I have, and the reason I bring this up, because I know it was kind of like a background thing in the episode, but it really helped continue to develop Bucky and Sam's relationship.
Sure.
And to kind of go off of my number 3, the chemistry between them just really built into more of a friendship instead of just like, hey, we were on the Avengers together. We were pretty cool, that's how we know each other. But they didn't really have a huge team building experience until this series.
They didn't have any team building exercises. They didn't do any trust falls or anything like that yet.
Yeah, between the two of them, they were both kind of connected between Captain America, and now it's like when you have a friend and then your friend brings their friend.
Yeah, I think we talked about this last week.
Yeah, and then their friend leaves.
I call them friend-in-laws.
Yeah, friend-in-law. Yeah, when you have the friend-in-law relationship, they're now becoming friends.
Yeah, they have to become
not friend-in-laws anymore.
Yeah, they're not friend-in-laws anymore. They're friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that was a really good episode. I think they did a really good job in that episode.
Yeah.
But the things that I thought about with his new suit is we know that John Walker ripped the wings off of the Falcon suit.
Mm-hmm.
So does this one have wings on it?
I think so.
And then is it going to be decked out like Captain America? Because I think that would say a lot about Bucky's, because he's like, hey, I called a favor in.
Yeah, I think
to the Wakandans.
I think it is going to be a red, white, and blue themed suit.
Because that will be awesome.
But I wonder if it's going to be all vibranium.
Yeah, I think it will be for the most part.
I mean, if it's coming from Wakanda, that's kind of what they're known for. So
I think it'll just be a nice vibranium upgrade.
Yeah,
basically indestructible. We'll probably get a similar scene where John Walker's trying to rip off his wings again, and then he won't be able to because they're vibranium. I hope that's what happens.
Yeah, I think there'll be like a cool moment where like they fight John Walker, or Sam's fighting John Walker, and like Sam just like breaks down his fake shield.
Yeah. I wonder, that'd be cool to see their shields like clash into each other and then just have his just shatter into nothing. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that would be cool.
All right, let's go to your number 1.
Number 1. I will save the post-credit scene for you, my friend. So that can be yours. I really like, kind of going off what you said, I like the tough love moment that Sam and Bucky had when they were practicing throwing the shield and stuff like that, and Bucky was able to open up to Sam more than he's ever opened up to his therapist.
Oh yeah.
And I think that goes really well with kind of what Sam basically this is like what Sam's superpower is. Sam's superpower is like he can empathize with like anyone, like he does with Carly. and he's like doing so with Bucky. He's like breaking down the walls because when we meet him in Civil War and Winter Soldier, he is like a trauma,
Like
uh,
veteran affair,
yeah,
right?
veterans, yeah, for like veterans and stuff like that, where they come to him and he's like, hey, like I've been there, I understand what you're going through, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's exactly what Bucky needed, was like somebody to kind of listen to him, who he can talk to, who he can trust. But then, um, I think when he gives him the tough love, I think that was exactly what Bucky needed. But like it was something that like Sam earned. Like he couldn't do the tough love to him on episode 2 when like they are together when they first meet, in the show.
Yeah, it's all
But
built up to
it's all
this
built
moment.
up, yeah, exactly. And I think that was a really cool moment. And then like again, we kind of see Sam's superpower when he goes and speaks with Eli again. Is that his name, Eli?
Isaiah.
Isaiah, sorry.
Elijah is the
It's
grandson
the grandson,
or
yeah.
son. Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever he
Um,
is.
yeah, when he talks to Isaiah, he kind of is able to, again, like break down those walls and
Hmm.
like get Isaiah to open up to him.
It was a
Um,
much different conversation than the first time they met.
yeah, exactly. And
And
so,
it's probably because he went in alone and did his thing.
yeah, exactly. And like, I think that's basically, I think that's kind of Sam's superpower essentially is him being able to empathize with people,
Right.
understand their perspective, point of view, and uh, his first thought isn't to punch or throw the shield. It's to I think he's going to use the shield like a lot more defensively, essentially, because
Yeah.
he's not going to be fighting, and that's why he doesn't need the super soldier serum. It's like all ties together because it's a good show that's well written.
Yeah. I love when they take characters like Sam, that don't have some kind of juice in them. I'll just say that. They don't
Right.
have like super soldier serum. They don't have they're not a mutant or something. It's just them, and they can use their gear really well or whatever, um, as far as combat goes. But then you look deeper, and you can see why they're successful.
Yeah.
And that, like what you're saying, he can empathize with people, and that ultimately is why I would say Captain America, Steve Rogers, chose him as the new
Chose
Captain
him.
America
Yeah, exactly. I
because
just
he sees that in him. I think great minds think alike, kind
yeah,
of a thing.
I just had a Jimmy Neutron brain blast right now while we were talking. Yeah. I think Sam should go help Wanda deal with all of her trauma that she's been going through.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
hey,
think he should, and
yeah,
maybe he will.
okay,
That's a great number one.
yeah, you're number one.
I think that's a really good highlight of that episode,
Yeah,
especially going off the title of it being truth. And so my number one, it is the end credit scene, but it's
yeah,
also everything leading up to that. Like it's John Walker's side of the story. I still think it's fascinating. Very well written character. You hate him, but you also understand him. At least
hmm
I do. I feel like I do. I feel like they did a good job writing his character as somebody that you can empathize with as a viewer, because you're like, there's moments where you're just like, you suck, I hate you, and then the next scene it's like, I get it, man, I get it. And with this episode, I don't think you feel that way. I don't know if you do or not, but but I felt that way in probably every episode that he was in. I had like, I hate you, and then I had the, man, I feel bad for you. And then
right.
sometimes I went back to, I hate you again. And then sometimes it was like, I still kind of feel bad for you and hate
I
you.
yeah, I felt like I feel kind of bad for you when he goes to like the Senate and is like,
Hmm.
I was just doing what you told me to do. Like,
Yeah. When he's like, you built me,
yeah,
and he's
exactly.
confronting them. And that's where I'm like, I get it. Like
Yeah,
that sucks. Like
yeah,
they created this monster and they're not taking accountability for it there.
yeah.
And I was listening to someone talk about it, that if he wouldn't have been caught killing that dude, they probably wouldn't have done anything.
Oh no, yeah. If he would have killed them without everybody seeing it, like they would have probably been like, You know,
They would have just swept it under the rug.
You know, it wouldn't even been swept under the rug. It would have just been like, oh yeah, like that's why we chose you to be Captain America. You're putting, you know,
Justice.
Yeah, like that's exactly why you're Captain America. You're capable of doing this kind of a thing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it all goes back to they essentially created a monster, and they're kind of giving him all of the blame, which
Right.
yes, he should be held accountable for what he did. But at the same time, he kind of had the green light to go and do what he did.
What did you expect to happen?
Yeah. And so I don't necessarily feel bad for him as an individual. I just feel bad in the situation. I'm like, that sucks. And there's nothing he can do. He gets stripped of everything he's ever known, which is military based. All the benefits, which I understand that being like you're basically just exiled from being in the military, excommunicated. But he lost everything, including his buddy, which also was sad. But yeah, just kind of everything leading up to his story. And then and you can't go around the fact that he's crazy and has some serious issues.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's kind of what leads most people to hate him, because he just acts on these impulses of, I need to go punch this person. I need to, take this person down. But then you get to the end credit scene where he's crafting his own Captain America shield because he truly believes that he is Captain America and that that's his calling, that's who that's his identity.
Yeah.
And I think you posted it on Instagram how Steve Rogers would always introduce himself as Steve Rogers.
Oh, you mean the meme that we posted on the Moderately Interesting Podcast Instagram profile page?
Yep.
That you should be following right now if you haven't already started following.
If you haven't followed it, that's
go ahead and give it a follow.
Yeah. The Moderately Interesting Podcast.
The Moderately Interesting Podcast. Anyways, yes.
But that was a good meme that you posted. I don't think it was a humorous meme. I think it was to show Steve Rogers' character compared to John Walker's character, and how he's always introducing himself. I mean, if you took a drink for every time he said, "I'm Captain America," you wouldn't have just in this episode.
Oh, in that one, yeah, in that episode.
You wouldn't have made it through the whole episode. You'd be blacked out. And it just kind of shows like he wants power.
Yes.
He wants the title. He wants the attention. Yeah. So his storyline was really, really interesting, and it has been this whole time. Just to like I hate him. I feel bad for him. I hate him. I haven't really ever liked him. It's mostly just like I feel bad for him.
That is our top 3 of episode 5 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What did you guys think? Let us know, because we want to hear what you guys think.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Where can they let us know?
They can let us know at the aforementioned podcast, the aforementioned Instagram profile, the Moderately Interesting Podcast. You can find us on Instagram. You can email us at moderatelyinteresting21@gmail.com. All right, Mitch.
Yeah.
It's time for the rumor mill.
Rumor mill.
Rumor mill. Rumor mill. Some interesting stuff has been coming out for the 3rd Spider-Man movie of Tom Holland's Spider-Man Far From Home.
Mm-hmm.
But before we talk about that rumor, I think we should talk about the other rumors that have been confirmed, that aren't confirmed, because it kind of all leads together.
Right.
So, the main rumor going around is that Spider-Man 3 is going to be part of the multiverse.
Yes.
And is essentially a live-action Spider-Verse movie. And the kind of unofficial rumor that is basically official is that not only will we get Tom Holland's Spider-Man in this, but we'll get Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's version of Spider-Man appearing in this movie. Um,
And that is confirmed, right?
I don't know if that's actually confirmed or not. I think that is still not officially confirmed, but there has
Right.
been excuse me, there has been sightings of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield was definitely in Atlanta. Um,
For the
Tom,
filming, like
yeah,
around that time.
yeah, around the time that they were filming, there was that picture of Tobey Maguire going in to get to like a costuming department and was like, you know, getting sized up or whatever for a costume.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he doesn't have any movies coming out other than this movie in 2020, 2021, excuse me. Yeah, there's a couple of rumors. It's basically confirmed that those two are in it. I don't say that. I don't say it's 100% confirmed because a while ago, Tom Holland was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in the movie. Like, I don't think so. He was kind of playing coy with that.
Right.
But yeah, I think he was just saying that. So
He'd
whatever.
probably get in trouble
Yeah.
if he said something.
Yeah.
And then I've heard along with that, I've heard Jamie Foxx's Electro.
I was going to say what is confirmed is Jamie Foxx is in this movie and he is playing Electro.
Okay. So that is confirmed.
That is confirmed. What is also confirmed is Alfred Molina is going to be playing Doc Ock.
Yes.
Now, for those who aren't 100% sure or whatever, Alfred Molina has played Doc Ock in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 2.
Right.
Jamie Foxx did play Electro in Andrew Garfield's The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So these are actors playing characters that we have seen before, but in different Spider-Man franchises.
Right.
That
they've already played.
Yeah. And Alfred Molina a couple of days ago had an interview from Variety, and he kind of spills out a lot of the beans of what's going on.
A bean spill.
Yeah.
If you will.
Yeah. And he talks about how he is definitely playing Doc Ock, and he is playing the Doc Ock from the Raimi trilogy from Spider-Man 2.
Okay, so I was going to ask about that with the new Far From Home movie. Are they bringing in these characters from other universes? Because I know that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are possibilities that have not been confirmed, but I think that we could say that they're likely confirmed.
Like that's called them 99% confirmed that they're in the movie.
Yeah, so are we going to be seeing, do you think we'll be seeing Doc Ock transported from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man?
I think so.
But just in the MCU?
Yeah, well, like I think 100% that not only is, so like we're getting Alfred Molina, excuse me, is playing Doc Ock. I think, especially from this Variety article that just came out, 100% that Alfred Molina is playing Doc Ock. He is playing the same Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2.
Okay, so when you say that, you're saying that it's not Tom Holland's Doc Ock.
No,
it's not the same actor playing Doc Ock in Tom Holland's.
It's not what they did for
like J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh no, it's not what they did for Quicksilver in WandaVision, where they got an actor who played Quicksilver from a different franchise, brought him in, and then he's not actually playing that character or whatever, or he's like a different version. No, he is playing that same character.
Okay. From Tobey Maguire's. So so there will be some kind of a multiverse connection.
And so
there will be some portal.
Yeah, going off of what was said in the article, I'll just read from the article right here. When the actor asked John Watts, the director of No Way Home, how the movie would bring Doc Ock back, since, as he pointed out, I died, Molina said the director told him, in this universe, no one really dies. In Spider-Man 2, Molina played the scientist Dr. Octavius when a lab accident turns him into the murderous Doc Octopus, or Doc Ock for short. And he drowns himself in the reactor in the East River before the city is destroyed. In early conversations, Molina said Watt told him that the movie will pick up Doc Ock's story from that moment in the river, which in a franchise that includes multiverse, time travel, and different timelines seems plausible enough. So yeah, I think we are going to literally see at some point like a scene from Spider-Man 2. Like I think we're gonna get an actual scene from Spider-Man 2. We're gonna see that scene where he falls down into the river.
Hmm.
Like if you remember that scene.
I do.
And then I think we're gonna get like another scene that is new and unique of like a black hole or something sucking him in under the while he's under the river.
Okay. That's interesting. That was arguably one of the best Spider-Man movies out there is Spider-Man 2. And
Um,
so seeing somewhat of a continuation from that would be awesome.
yeah. So my question that I'm throwing out right now, and I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen or anything like that, but we have Doc Ock being sucked into the multiverse right after, right in the like right at the end of Spider-Man 2.
Uh-huh.
If Tobey Maguire does get brought over, which is again 99% confirmed,
Right.
does that mean he's going to get sucked in between Spider-Man 2 and 3?
Would that retcon Spider-Man
And
3?
does that retcon
possibly?
Spider-Man 3? Exactly is what I'm getting at.
Let's hope so.
Or is it just going to be like he gets pulled in at Spider-Man 2 and then Tobey gets pulled some point after Spider-Man 3, like possibly years later after Spider-Man 3?
Yeah.
So that way they can explain why Tobey would look a little older.
Yeah. And Alfred Molina probably looks older too.
Yeah, so they talked about that too with Alfred Molina. Molina's concerns were more practical. He said that he asked Watts how they were going to deal with the fact that he's 67 and has aged since the 2004 film.
Yeah.
He just looked at me and said, this is Molina talking, "Did you see what we did to Bob Downey Jr. and Sam Jackson?"
Mm-hmm.
Molina said with a laugh. In 2016's Captain America Civil War, Marvel Studios used CGI to de-age Robert Downey Jr. to look as he did in 1991. And in 2019's Captain Marvel, also set in the 90s, a de-aged Samuel L. Jackson played a younger version of his character, Nick Fury.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like they're going to de-age Alfred Molina.
Cool.
I haven't seen what Alfred Molina looks like in a long time. I don't know what he looks like in 2021, but...
Right. So do you think that he is going to survive because he's going to be transported via some portal
I think,
in the river?
Yeah, it's possible that he it's possible that it's not even like an accident or whatever that this happened. It's more that like somebody might be pulling him intentionally, through
Down
the multiverse.
in the river?
Well, no, he's getting sucked down to the river because the sun simulation thing that he built is falling down the river. And then during that point, he's going to get a portal. I'm assuming a portal is going to come and suck him up and bring him into the MCU.
I know that at the end of Spider-Man 2, he has a change of heart.
Yeah, I think that's going to be another hard thing is...
He's very well respected by Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a weird thing is how are they going to reverse him being like, oh, I don't want to do this. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
Like I'm going to take this down even if it kills me.
Right.
I think that's the thing that we're going to have to see the most. Now, the other one that they've talked about too is Electro. It's Jamie Foxx.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like with Jamie Foxx is not playing a continuation of Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
It seems like he is playing a different version of that Electro. So I'm wondering if like you kind of have to look at it as like there are 100 different, universes, timelines. So is this like a different timeline version universe of Jamie Foxx's Electro? Because they said he's not going to be blue.
Right.
So
those are good questions.
Yeah, that's the other one that's kind of weird. And now the other big rumor that's been thrown out, and I'm not sure if you've heard of this one, Mitch.
Probably not.
That William Dafoe is coming back to play Green Goblin in this movie.
I have not heard that, but that's exciting.
Yeah, that's the other big rumor. So again, potential spoilers right here, but these are all just rumors, so take them with a grain of salt.
Yeah. They haven't introduced the Osborn family yet.
No, they have not. Yeah.
Tom Holland's
It's possible that the Osborns don't exist in the MCU. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I hope they do.
If Norman Osborn comes back as the Green Goblin, that's going to be another one that I think is going to be kind of tough to explain though. But assuming time travel is possible, they could pull him before he dies.
Or it might just be like Jamie Foxx might be.
Yeah, might be like a different version of that character.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be
that
very.
would cause some. That would cause some serious drama.
Yeah, I don't think they would do that. I think they won't do that because that Green Goblin, is kind of beloved at this point,
Yeah,
whereas most people didn't care for Jamie Foxx's
Electro.
Electro.
I don't think most of what they did with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was loved.
Hot take for a second. I like Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Do you?
I do.
That's the one with Jamie Foxx, right?
That's the one with Jamie Foxx. Yeah, I mean, it's not like the best movie ever or anything like that, but
Yeah, but you liked it.
I liked it, and I think I enjoy Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man.
Mhm.
I enjoyed him and Emma Stone's chemistry. I believe Emma Stone, last I heard, was like in talks, but I don't know if she officially signed on.
Right.
So yeah, it's a lot's going on with this movie, and I'm super excited to see what ends up happening. Of course, there's also the rumors Charlie Cox is coming in.
Yes.
Whether he's playing, I think they've said that he's coming in to play Matt Murdock.
Right.
But they made no actual mention of Daredevil.
But that's fine because everyone wants, and I'm speaking for everyone wants Charlie Cox back in as Daredevil.
Yes, I mean, now the idea is that Charlie Cox is going to be, Matt Murdock is going to be Peter's lawyer, because everybody knows Peter's Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And they all blame Spider-Man for the death of Mysterio in Homecoming, or not Homecoming,
right.
Far From Home.
Mm-hmm.
Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home. It's kind of,
yeah, they staged that at the very end.
Yeah. So I'm guessing that's where we're gonna pick up, is with Matt Murdock being Peter's defense lawyer, and that's a storyline that reminds me from the '90s Spider-Man cartoon.
And we do know, everyone knows that's seen the latest Spider-Man, that he is in need of a lawyer.
Yes.
So what better man than Matt Murdock?
Yeah, and maybe Matt Murdock does suit up for Daredevil to try to help him out,
or gather evidence or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can get like a little tease of MCU Daredevil official.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I think that Daredevil might be my favorite MCU or Marvel character.
So after our last episode, I started rewatching Daredevil.
Uh-huh.
And I love that show. It's such a good show.
So good. I hope they bring most, if not all, of the cast back.
Yeah.
Whether they decide to continue with his story or they just start anew. Yeah. I just want all of those people there.
What I really want to do now is I want to use my Marvel Unlimited and start to read some Daredevil comics.
Mm-hmm. I've heard those are good.
Yeah. I will probably start doing that pretty soon.
Good.
But Mitch, real quick, this kind of since we kind of talked about the rumors right now, there's been a lot of different Spider-Man cartoons. We just talked about the '90s one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite Spider-Man's cartoon?
I would say the '90s one is probably the one I'm most familiar with. And mostly because that's what I watched on Saturday mornings or whenever they were on.
Right after X-Men, right before X-Men?
Yeah, I haven't ever watched any of those. The only animated series, like superhero animated series that I've watched all the way through is Batman.
Okay.
The animated series. And so I haven't followed the 90s Spider-Man or any of those from start to end. Just, I don't know that necessarily the plot or anything like that's involved, but I did watch it when I was younger.
Yeah,
I had the McDonald's toys as well. Yeah. So what is your favorite Spider-Man cartoon?
I just want to point out real quick too that the 90s Spider-Man is available on Disney Plus. So if you have Disney Plus, you can.
It's just called Spider-Man.
Yeah, you can just go ahead and give that a watch. My favorite one is the 90s Spider-Man is really good. And they kind of do, that show kind of does a little more epic storylines than most of them. So I really enjoy it for that. Like Madam Web in that show was really cool. And like they kind of do their own version of the Spider-Verse before Spider-Verse was even a thing.
Uh-huh.
and that was really cool. But I will go with Spectacular Spider-Man as my favorite Spider-Man cartoon.
The Spectacular Spider-Man.
The Spectacular Spider-Man. Spectacular, spectacular Spider-Man, spectacular. Yeah, it's super good.
Yeah, that looks, just from the intro there that I saw, it looks really good.
Yeah, it's really good because like the 90s Spider-Man, you know, Peter is probably like 19, 20 years old in that one.
Yeah.
I like in it, it's still like even now it feels older because like Peter is like he's in college, but like he has like an apartment, he has like a full-time job,
Right.
like yeah. Whereas in Spectacular Spider-Man, Peter is like a freshman in high school.
Mhm.
And I really like it. They do the love triangle very well in that. They've got Mary Jane, they've got Gwen Stacy. Yeah, they've got like it's all done really well. They even do Venom in that one. And it's all done really well. I really like that. Like there's like it's like kind of a cool line when he's Venom. He like goes and fights like the bad guys. So like Chameleon is there, and Chameleon like robs a bank or whatever, and then Peter gets the black costume, and so then like he goes and like stops like it's like Chameleon and a couple of like other thugs working together, and like they're like, you're not Spider-Man, like that's not the right costume, and then the symbiote is like already getting to Peter, so he like kind of talks in like a lower voice and like more edgy, and he's like, I'm in mourning, like he's like, I'm in mourning for my good image, like it like sounds like stupid, but like the way like they deliver the line was like actually really cool.
Yeah, it sounds cool.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So that's your go-to.
That's my go-to because I have the DVDs of it, but it's not on Disney Plus, and it's kind of hard to just find and watch.
Right.
But if you can, I recommend it.
Cool.
I'm gonna give another quick. Have you ever seen Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes?
I have not.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a little homework assignment, Mitch.
Okay.
Just watch, the first episode or two of Earth's Mightiest Heroes. It's on Disney Plus.
Okay.
I'm
gonna go add it to my list right now.
Yeah. Also has a spectacular theme song. Pun
Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
2010.
This was a great show, and I'm really sad that they kind of canceled it too soon.
Yeah. Two seasons.
Gone but not forgotten. Yeah, it's really good. It's really, really good. If you can get into it, I highly recommend it.
Cool. All right, Aaron.
All right, Mitch.
We're getting close to closing time.
Closing time.
And I think we need to go over some questions.
I know what questions I want you to ask me.
You do?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I can't back that up.
I don't know if you know what questions
I don't know either. No, I mean, it's always a surprise.
All right. So I have a few questions, but I'll just do a couple and we'll save some for next time.
Yeah.
We go with the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So my first question is a cage match.
Cage match. Okay.
Cage match. All right. So the cage match, you know what a cage match is, right?
Bonesaw.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
So that setting, we've got Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Okay.
Oh,
since we've been talking about
tag team.
as a team. Okay.
Okay.
Versus all 4 Ninja Turtles.
All 4 Ninja Turtles. What weapons does Bucky have? Or is it no weapons? Do the Ninja Turtles have their weapons?
Yeah, they have their weapons. I don't really want him to have a gun.
So we're already handicapping Falcon, the Winter Soldier.
Okay, do you want to give him a gun?
I mean, like, no. I mean, you're the ref. You're the commissioner of this.
I'm trying to think of what other weapons he's used because he always has a gun.
Yeah.
He's got his arm.
I mean, yeah, you can't.
And he's got the serum, so he's kind of got an advantage there, anyways.
Yeah.
And his arm is going to last against any of their weapons.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you give, I'm going to say this. I think if you give Bucky a gun, I go with Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay. And if not,
If not, I am still gonna go with Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
okay.
Because I don't think Michelangelo. I think it's gonna come. I think it would come down to Leonardo and Raphael. I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier can take out Michelangelo and Donatello fairly quickly.
Yeah, they're not going to last very long.
Yeah, and my other logic too is they take out one of them, and then that means Sam and or Bucky gets their weapon. Like they'll pick up their weapon and start using it.
Right. Well, there we go. There's how Bucky's going to get his weapon.
Yeah.
So if they take out Donatello first, he gets whatever Donatello uses.
He's got a stick. Donatello has
a stick.
The worst weapon ever. It's literally
just. Is Donatello the purple or the
purple one?
Purple, yeah.
Michelangelo's the orange one.
Orange.
Leonardo's
he's kind of the dork, right?
No, Donatello is like the nerdy computer guy.
Donatello is, but Michelangelo
is a party dude. Party.
Yeah, he's kind of the lighthearted one.
Yeah, he's the comic relief. But he can shred his nunchucks pretty well.
All right, so that's question number one.
Question number one.
Question number two is, do you like universal crossovers? I don't know if that's the right terminology, but I'll explain. Do you like when universes cross over?
It depends. Depends on what it is.
Okay.
Jimmy Timmy Power Hour. Surprisingly well.
Power Hour.
Works surprisingly well. Marvel versus
Scooby-Doo and Batman.
Scooby-Doo and Batman. I don't know how well that works. I know it's happened a few times.
Mm-hmm. And the reason I ask you this is because I don't think there's any rumors or anything like that out there. But now that Disney kind of has control over, Star Wars, Marvel, things like that, it makes me wonder, could there ever be a crossover of some kind?
Of Marvel and Star Wars? Yeah. I will say another universe crossover, as we're calling it, that works out pretty well is Disney and Final Fantasy. Surprisingly works pretty well.
Right.
I would not ever want that. Marvel Star Wars crossover.
Same.
Yeah, that doesn't sound appealing to me. I think they're just too different. They are about different things. And I mean, yeah, Star Wars is already a movie in the MCU, so it's mentioned. I mean, in Civil War, we have that, like, oh, you ever see the old movie, Star Wars?
So they kind of debunk it right there.
Yeah.
To be honest.
And if we go based off of the Netflix shows, which I know we just said aren't really canon anymore, but there is that part where in Jessica Jones where the Purple Man is like, "You'll let us cross through," like, and she's like, "Oh, okay, Obi-Wan Kenobi," like,
right.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I don't think, like, that's why I said it depends, because that's something that I would not be interested in.
Yeah. But there are some that do work.
But there's some like if they did a Pacific Rim versus Godzilla movie, I'd be like, heck yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Or if they did like a, I mean, like, speaking of Ninja Turtles, the Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles have crossed over before.
So has Batman and the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. So I'm not opposed to it. It's just I think it's got to be done well.
Right.
And it's got to be like two properties that make sense why they'd be crossing over. So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Universe, I kind of feel the same way. So when I think of like bigger universes crossing over, I get a little bit queasy.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see that, but because there's a lot, I think there's more that could go wrong.
Yeah.
Could go right.
I think a lot more can go wrong than right.
All right. So my last question, which will be for next time.
Okay.
And this is mostly just for you to answer. This isn't one that I will answer because I don't have much knowledge in it. If you were a Jedi, which fighting style would you study and why?
Okay. Are we going to answer that next time? Or right now? Okay. Next time. I already have an answer, so.
Okay.
We'll
do it next time.
We'll do it next time.
Cliffhanger.
And I will ask my question for you.
Oh, yes.
I've got a couple.
Okay.
Okay. What are your? Because we kind of talked about this before we started recording.
Uh-huh.
What are your top 5 fantasy swords?
My top 5 fantasy swords.
Yes.
Do I answer that now?
No, we'll save that for next time.
Okay, next time.
Next time, your top 5 fantasy swords.
Yes. All right, I'm excited for that one.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody, thank you for joining us on this action-packed episode of Action-packed Dragon Sword.
Huzzah! All right.
Yeah, thank you for joining us on this episode of the Moderately Interesting Podcast. Please make sure to write a review, give us some stars, subscribe. All of that really helps us out. Talk
to us on Twitter, Instagram, email.
You can tweet us. You can Insta us. You can call us.
Everything will be in the show notes.
Yeah.
Links. I'll put those in there.
Links will be in there. But yeah, all of that really helps us. Please, let us know somebody's listening to us. I know you guys are listening, but yeah. Anything else you need to say, Mitch, before we sign off? Hey guys, future Aaron and future Mitch here. We just wanted to say, before we forget and officially sign off, that the Falcon and the Winter Soldier season finale is coming up. It's gonna be here real soon. We're gonna talk about it for sure. There's gonna be tears, might be a little blood. I can't promise there won't be blood, but
there probably will be a little bit.
There may be blood. That's my favorite movie of all time. There should be blood. It was the Sweet Gold that I enjoyed.
Right.
But we're going to definitely talk about it next week. Make sure you're here. You don't want to miss this. It's the season finale of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
And it's going to be big.
It's going to be huge.
Stay tuned.
So make sure to join us next week. All right, back to past Aaron and past Mitch.
Just stay away from the ocean because you don't know what kind of crazy stuff lives out there.
Stay away from the ocean. Elon Musk, be Iron Man.
Oh my gosh!
Don't forget.
How did we forget that?
I didn't forget. I didn't forget. You forgot.
I did. Actually, I was thinking about tying it in when we were talking about Spider-Man rumors.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, I also heard another rumor
about Elon Musk.
Elon Musk was going to be Iron Man.
Should have done.
And then I forgot.
All right, you want to call him out real quick?
Yeah, Elon Musk, you need to be Iron Man. So, just I don't know how many times I need to tell you this. I feel like
until he hears it.
Yeah, I just feel like
somebody at Tesla or SpaceX or whatever, please start listening to the podcast and let Elon know that we would love to have him on so we can talk to him about being Iron Man.
Or just, he doesn't even need to talk to us. He just needs to do it.
I mean, it'd be cool if he did, though. I mean, I'm not going to say no.
More than happy.
If he wants to talk to us. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. This has been the Moderately Interesting Podcast. Make sure to tip your lifeguards. See ya.
Bye.